Hello and welcome to the Business Spotlight interview series. I'm your host Khanna, and today I'm joined by the dynamic Chathura Sudharshan, who is founder of Seamless Source. Seamless Source is an automated omni-channel sourcing platform, and they deal with different fashion brands. So Chathura, is really good to have you. Would you like to just explain to our listeners what is it that you exactly do?
Yeah, sure. So nice joining with you, Anu. I'm Chathura, as you mentioned. Our company is Seamless Source. Simply what we do is, as you already mentioned, we are an omni-channel sourcing platform and a technology. So we simply help fashion businesses to digitalize the supply chain. And for them, we help them to have a transparent and a circular fashion business because right now in the world, there's billions of garments goes to landfill and there's no transparency in the supply chain. So we're simply helping to solve this problem in the globally. So that's what we do.
Wow, fantastic. Uh, how did it all begin? That's like really incredible what you're doing. How did you get into this? Where was the starting point?
Okay, kind of like it's a kind of like a story, I would say. So I was born in Sri Lanka, and I was from a fashion background. So working in different parts of the world related to fashion, from Sri Lanka to Bangladesh to India to China, like a lot of different places in different parts of the world in different fashion related work. While I was working, I found out there are three specific problems in the industry. One is if you're a fashion business, it's a bit difficult to find reliable and sustainable businesses to make your products. And then order management is very much complex and it takes a lot of time and costly as well. And then finally, as I mentioned earlier, fashion industry and the supply chains are not transparent and the products are not made to be circular. So that was the starting point or the background of this. So then I saw it as a big business opportunity plus a big problem to be solved. So then I quit my last job. That time I was at Bangladesh, and then I came to UK with my wife with just 475 pounds in my pocket, and then I started Seamless Source to find a solution. And Seamless Source is a solution what we created to find a big answer for this big problem.
Wow, that's a fascinating story. So you're not only circular, sustainable, but you're also very successful. So what would you attribute this success to?
So I believe success is coming in like a lot of different ways. So some people says it as money, some people says it as fame, some people says it as number of customers. So like a lot of differences are there in terms of like definition of the success. So in my case, I would say like making a change in the world or making a difference to the world is something I believe as a success as well. So as a business, we were able to make a lot of better products for the environment, which are like maybe 100% biodegradable ones, and the products which are having fully transparent supply chains who pays really good wages for the employees and who can see the whole supply chain embedded into the product, and all these good things we had done in the particular industry. So because we are from fashion industry and we are talking about the fashion supply chain, so as a my personal belief, I believe like we did some massive changes and we introduced technologies and innovation. So I believe that is as a success. And then we started it with a very small capital and was grown into like customers in all different parts of the world. So I believe that as a really big success in my personal perspective.
Fantastic. You certainly did start very small. You said 475 pounds. You started literally from scratch. So, very self made man. You must have come across some challenges. So, what were your key challenges, or what are your key challenges currently?
I mean, especially when you're doing a startup, it's kind of like always challenges.
Yeah.
So you will always find challenges. Some days you will like feeling like really good, over the moon kind of, and then one day you feel like really, really down kind of. So these challenges, I would say, like it's kind of like normal in a startup world. So most of the challenges that can be cascaded into few different areas. One is mostly related to the technical challenges. So when you are especially developing a tech startup, you always needed to have an agile process to change the
Mm.
things, adapt new changes, and always like embrace a change in the tech world. because if you don't continue to innovate, if you stop the innovations, then you are ending up the tech development. So that was one huge challenge we came up, we overcome, and we will continuously get that challenge. And that was one area. And the other area is about the financial. So if you are especially starting with like a smaller financial turnover or a smaller amount, then you either have to find paying customers, or you have to find out people who are investing on you. So that is a initial challenge, because you have to make sure that other people believes on you. So we had to be projected yourself and make sure that others believing on you. So that was the initial stage. I would say it's a bit of a difficult area, because no one believes in just an idea. So either it's kind of like chicken and egg kind of problem. So either you have to have one to start up with. So after you find it, yes, it's kind of like mostly overcome. And there are some other challenges, like especially when you are developing a business, you get like legislations are there, legalities are there, there are areas that you don't have knowledge, so then you have to improve that knowledge, and the areas which you don't know. So it's kind of continuous improvement will always overcome these challenges, and always keep connections with the others. That will again help you more and more as well. So these are the things I would say that help problematic on the initial stage, but again help me to mold myself as personally also to the next stage.
Excellent. Really well said, Chathura. There are a lot of business owners listening to you. And what would you say what are the common misconceptions about running a business, especially when you start from a scratch, a startup, and how do you address them?
I would say some people believe like either you want like millions of pounds to start a business, or either you want like a lot of connections and all these things to start a business. So it's not like that. You can start something very, very simple. Like in our case, even though right now we have like a fully fledged platform and a whole development technology, we started our business totally with WhatsApp and the emails. That is how we start the business. So with like zero kind of a capital. So to prove a concept, or to prove or start something, or especially go out of your comfort zone, you don't need capital, you don't need connections. You can start it in a very, very small way. So that would be my main idea, or the advice for all the people like who wanted to start something, or even like if you are in some kind of like a very comfortable position, I would always say like go out of your comfort zone. That will help you to get into the next stages. Even if you are a big business person, if you don't change, you might be a dinosaur maybe in 5 years time. So that's embracing the continuous change, and start with small might be the best thing I can say from my experience.
No, really well said. Change is the only constant in life, and life begins at the end of comfort zone.
Yeah,
So,
exactly. I agree with you. Yeah.
yes. So in this changing world, how are you keeping pace with change?
I mean, it's a difficult one, because it's always changing. So you have to always upgrade. So upgrade in the sense, it's not just upgrading your materialistic things. It's more of like knowledge upgrade, I would say. So if you are always like in the same stage of your knowledge, then you might not be like getting onto the next changes, and you will not be adapting them. So knowledge upgrade is a one key thing. Knowledge upgrade doesn't always say like you have to pass a new degree, or you have to do a new course or something like that. It comes in like all different shapes, all different forms. So it can be even you go out and talk to someone and learn something. Maybe you talk to some elderly person and then grab a little bit of wisdom. That person might be like a huge upgrade of the knowledge. Oh yes, at the same time, yes, you can go for courses and maybe like new knowledge upgrades. Like simple thing is like there are a lot of platforms right now are there which is giving all different knowledge. For a classic example is I wanted to learn a little bit about contract law. So then I've been to a platform and follow like a few hours, like maybe 20 hours kind of a course. Then I got like a really, really good understanding, thorough understanding of what is contract law. But I don't have a LLB or any kind of a degree, but I can certainly understand how a contract works and contract law works and all these things. So it can come in different shapes, but still you can learn from all different places. That's how I believe that you can get into the ever changing and adapting to that changing world.
Fantastic. I'm completely aligned with you here about learning. I would say a winning culture is based on the learning culture. Really good. Continuously learning, evolving, and adapting. Yeah, very
Yeah,
well said.
definitely.
Very well said. So you mentioned your wife, and there's a personal life. So how do you balance your personal life with the demands of running a business, especially when you started it from scratch?
Yeah, it's I mean, it's not easy because especially when you're starting a business, you are getting busy and you are having limited time to spend and all this. Even I remember, like I spend like long hours on working and all these things. So it's one is like I'm fortunate to have someone who is understanding myself, and so it's very much helping me in that way. And other than that, it's all about keep the communication as much as possible, and then spend the time as much as possibly you can in your free. Even though I said it like that, sometimes I'm also missing it. But it's all about having more and more time spending. I mean, yes, maybe if you are like a really strict person, you can have a very strict deadline of you are stopping the work by this time. But I won't say I'm a person like that. I'm sometimes working late hours and all, but that could be something can be implemented and use on where you will have a proper work-life balance in such a way.
Very good. Thank you. So, what would your one advice to our listeners who have just started up their business or who are in the process of starting? What will be your one piece of advice to them?
So I would say like actually I might give like two advices. One is connected to the first one point I mentioned earlier, which is you can start small. If you have an idea, ideas don't worth much. Like yes, they worth, but they don't worth much. So if you have an idea, start it and
Mm,
work on the idea, and then start somewhere. That's the first thing I can say, because if the idea is implemented, then you can take it forward, and if you don't feel still it's not working, you can stop it. But at least you can be happy, say okay, I tried it but it failed. If I didn't try it, that's not going to work. So that's the first thing I would say. And the next point is about the connection. This is something I really valued on. You needed connections. I mean, we sometimes we might say okay, you don't need connections. It's all about like how you project yourself to the others. So if other person has a good image about you or has a positive image, so then always that other person might help you. Even the times that you think need a help, that person might be there, or that company or the organization, or that person will be there. So always help the others, and then others will help you. Don't expect others to help you back by you giving helping them, but if you help them always, then you might get some kind of connections and friends and all the people on all different parts, where you can easily grab a phone and give them a call, or just text them and ask for something whenever you need. So these are the two things I would say. If you are starting up, build up a network, build up a connection, and start it from somewhere that will take you to the next stages. Don't think of 10 years ahead, 5 years ahead, but
mm.
think on the what you needed to do at the next stage, and implement it.
That's a great advice. Thank you so much. Uh, Really great to have you listen to your words. Thank you for your time today. It's really great meeting you and learning more about your entrepreneurial journey. So, on behalf of all the listeners, I'd like to wish you very best of luck. Thank you, Chathura.
Yeah, thank you, Anna. Thanks for the invitation, and thanks for joining as well.
Thank you.